Coach, appreciate you joining us, and good morning to you as well. If you want to start with an opening statement, and we'll get to a couple of questions for you.
Well, happy Sunday morning. So we'll be in the church pew here in a few hours. So I'll always remember the week I spent a night at Homer Bryce is what I want to say about that one, because that was a long game. But very pleased with the crowd in the first half. Had a bunch of folks in town for homecoming and a really good showing there before the weather hit. But really pleased the way the Lumberjacks came out to play. They were ready to play 3 or 4 different times, that first half, and then after the first 2-hour delay, then after the next 2-hour delay, and really pleased with their energy and just coming out and playing at a high level and put that game away. It really, the game's never over till it's all zeros, but we felt like we were in control from about midway through the first quarter on, and that was a good feeling, and the guys just kept the hammer down. Did some good things, played some complimentary football there in that first half. But then things, did get a little sloppy. I thought we turned the ball over way too many times, put the ball on the ground way too many times. Those things will get you. We got a PAT blocked. I don't know, we'd made, y'all have to look it up, 200 in a row or something. It was a bunch. And we always pride ourselves on PATs and felt like they jumped the snap and were offsides, but that's neither here nor there. But just there was some sloppiness in there, but some really good plays and Bugs Mortimer, had 2 punt returns for a touchdown. One got held, called back, and then he had a third one he should have scored. Got tackled by the punter who was on the ground, I think. So we'll give him some fits about that one. But all in all, just good to get to 1-0 again this week in conference play, and so sets up another big game next week on the road. And but just proud of this team that continuing, I think, to get better each week, but not quite as clean as I'd like to have seen it there in whatever you call it, the second or third or fourth half that we played. But 6.5 hours of football, played East Texas tough, got the win, so very pleased.
And Coach, you talked about the Jacks being ready to go 2, 3, 4, maybe even 5 times. What's the thought process? Obviously, going into this one, you knew based on the forecast that the weather could kind of maybe rear its ugly head, but when you have the first delay and you come back out and you get loose and you play, and then you have another delay, like what's the message to the team? What's the mindset in the locker room?
We knew this was coming. We told them all week, starting Monday, this is going to be a very physical game, and we had them, I think, really prepared to play physical, and I thought we did. We outrushed them. We controlled the line of scrimmage, and then as we saw the forecast even early this morning with meetings, we started telling them, guys, this game may be midnight before it's over. I think our operations staff did a great job. We had things lined up and had pizza delivered. We had this done pre-game where we could feed them at the start of that first one, because I look at the forecast, I didn't think we'd get out there again until midnight. I was glad we were able to get out there and get a little bit done there around the 10 o'clock hour, but we were able to keep them fueled and hydrated. We had fun with our guys. I told them, let's be serious, but have fun. And, cherish these moments, cherish these relationships. You're going to make a memory today, tonight, and all into the next morning. They'll never forget that game. And we had a good time in the locker room. They had me freestyling for a little bit and playing pool, and we tried to relax in between. And then when we'd see we was about to go out to play, we'd dial it back in, buckle the chin strap, and get ready to go.
Coach, leading into this one, obviously kind of, we talked with you on Monday earlier this week about it. Kind of made the comment, I think even in the Zoom with some of our production folks, about the mansters that Nicholls State has, especially on the defensive side of the football, and really offensively, especially being able to kind of run the ball. Kind of just talk about your offensive line's performance and what you saw out of your backs tonight.
I thought the O-line did a really good job and really challenged them. We lost our quarterback in this game last year, and I went in their meeting room, I guess that's Monday morning, and I got after them pretty good and challenged them. I said, keep your quarterback upright. Don't let your quarterback get hit. And I think, they, had their mind made up to play physical and set the tone. We outrushed them by a good bit. And then the physicality on the defensive side. That running back they've got, Miguel Brock, that guy's, I think, one of the best in the business, and they held him 1.9 yards a carry, and that guy's a tough guy to bring down. And so I was pleased with the physicality on both sides of our line of scrimmages tonight.
And Coach, you mentioned kind of some special teams earlier. Maybe maybe a miscue here or there, but talk about obviously Jacob Handy hits one from 54. That's second longest in program history. Carlos comes out there and hits one from 36. Bugs with 159 return yards. Obviously the big touchdown. Just talk about that third phase that sometimes maybe gets overlooked.
Yeah.
They might not necessarily win you the game, but they can certainly lose you the game at some times.
Yeah, we lost the toss there, and a coin toss, and so they defer. We took the ball, and offense, boom, 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 right down the field, and we dropped the ball a couple of times, and we've had a 2-kicker system. We've never had to use it with Jacob Hand being kind of our long leg. We finally had an opportunity, and I didn't flinch. I said, let's go, and it was 54, but that sucker could have made it. He could make it from 65 with no wind. He's got one of the strongest legs I've been around, and so it was kind of good to show that off a little bit, and happy for him to drill that one. He kicked the ball off very well tonight. Again, we talked about the missed PAT, which was disappointing, but that was blocked. It wasn't missed. So I think those guys are still perfect on the year with PATs they've kicked and field goals they kicked, and that's crucial. And we'll pay big dividends in some of these close games that's coming forward. The punt return unit, we knew we had some opportunities there, and we were hungry, and we got extended a little bit on one block. We were just manhandling the guy, to be honest with you, and we got to reset our hands. But that was a great return. And then the one he took back that counted was I hadn't seen many returns like that. And then the third one, I think the punter was on the ground. He tripped over him. I really do, but it was happy for Bugs. He's healthy again. He was banged up earlier in the year, and he's so dynamic back there, and so that's good to see. Again, it wasn't all perfect. We kicked off great, but our kickoff return, we mishandled the ball there at the end. That could have been catastrophic, and so there's still plenty we can work on. We've won a few games in a row. We're undefeated in conference play, and that's good to see, and we're getting better each week. That's great to see, but we're still behind in terms of where we want to be as a team, and I think our best football is still ahead of us, and so that's really encouraging.
And Coach, one more you kind of mentioned. I was going to bring that up. The church bells are about to start ringing here shortly, but obviously looking ahead, East Texas A&M kind of took one on the chin up there last year. Kind of just your early thoughts on letting last year be last year and focusing on the task at hand next Saturday.
They beat us last year. We didn't. But that was last year, and so just like McNeese and Southeast, and we had some really tough losses. Incarnate Word, we fumbled a pick 6 to win the game there on that one last year. So, it's a new team, but there's still a healthy number of guys in that locker room that lived through that last year, and that, it's not revenge. It's nothing like that. It's just learn. You learn from your mistakes. We say it all the time: you either win or you learn. And it's the same way in life. You go through some tough and adversity, some tough, hard times in life, and you're like questioning things and what is we doing here? But then you look back on it a few months later, weeks later, years later, you're like, man, that going through those tough times, hard times, adversity, it made me who I am today. It helped me get to a point in life where I could, achieve what I'm doing now. And I think it's the same way in football. And so I think with going through that last year, with them going down there and getting after Incarnate Word the way they did tonight, we're going to enjoy this one for, usually say 24 hours, just the rest of this day, which is quickly getting away from us too. But then we'll turn that page and really it'll be a full focus on East Texas A&M and be a challenge, but looking forward to it.
Well, enjoy the rest of your morning, Coach. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Axum Jacks.